What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. Today, we're going to react to Cowboys prioritizing CeeDee Lamb's deal over Dak's. I want to get one thing out of the way. CeeDee Lamb's a much more valuable asset in Dallas Cowboys arsenal than Dak Prescott. I'm telling you, what they're going to do is re-sign CeeDee Lamb, Micah Parsons, ditch Dak. Now, I know they'll probably just have to pay him $40 million fucking dollars, okay? But it's the franchise fault. It's Jerry Old-Ass Jones' fault. Now, let's get into the YouTube fucking video.
Well, this is not the way teams typically operate. I thought Danny Parkins, when he was on this show, but then did a longer piece on him, was filling in for the Herd the other day, made the point. The Cowboys have 3 contracts up. Their quarterback, their star pass rusher, and their wide receiver. And the point he made that I'll echo, because I think it's a smart one, is recent NFL history tells us only one of those contracts ever doesn't get done, and that's the wide receivers. There's nobody lets a quarterback hit free agency, and nobody trades a guy like Micah Parsons coming off his rookie deal. But a lot of star receivers coming off their rookie deal or wanting to get paid get traded. Diggs got traded in Minnesota. I know he just got traded again, but I'm talking about years ago in Minnesota. Devontae, Tyreek, A.J. Brown. There's, others.
Can I make an argument?
Sure.
Was Minnesota being like, no, JJ's our guy, and Kirk, you can roll?
Well, no, they didn't. They didn't know they were getting JJ.
I'm sorry, Justin Jefferson.
No, I understand, but they didn't know that they were getting Justin Jefferson
in the draft.
They didn't know the draft was going to fall that way. No, it was they knew they were going to get a first round pick and probably draft a wide receiver, but they needed the Eagles to draft. Was it Rager? Good job. Well done, Wild. Jalen Rager, one spot there. So but so no, they knew they were probably going to reset the salary structure at wide receiver. The Chiefs traded Tyreek. The Raiders traded for Devontae. Packers got rid of him. So this is typically not what teams would do. If they have to make a choice, it's like, well, there's a lot of good wide receivers and we don't want to pay top of the market. I think Dallas is doing this because they know CeeDee's awesome. Micah's going to get paid. And I think they are unsure about whether or not they want to pay Dak.
Jeez. So
they know they want to pay CeeDee. They know they want to keep him. So he jumps Dak in the priority list, which is not unreasonable to me, but it is unconventional.
It is very unconventional, and you prioritize what's most important to you. And right now, the Dallas Cowboys are letting the world know, and CeeDee Lamb know, you are most important. And this is...
He is. He's the most important player, arguably on the team besides Micah Parsons. What has Dak done? He's led in the playoffs a couple of times, okay? Make the argument. We lost. We only made it to the divisional round and got our ass wiped. What the fuck am I saying? Got our ass kicked by the San Francisco 49ers, okay? He hasn't done much for us, basically, is what I'm saying. CeeDee Lamb has been practically, you can arguably saying that he's been great ever since he got drafted. Same thing with Micah Parsons. Motherfuckers are going to get paid. We're not paying Dak, and we are. It would be one of the worst things this franchise has ever done.
It's odd because you mentioned it. Traditionally, across the league, you always take care of your quarterback first, and then everything else domino effects off of.
If the quarterback actually made some progress for a team, we have a third-string quarterback that's looked decent, okay? CeeDee Lamb, top 3, arguably top 3 wide receiver. You can make the exception for a top 5. Micah Parsons best right now. And to let one of these niggas walk, that's not acceptable.
That. However, when you look at this team offensively, we have seen Dak Prescott not show up when they needed him to show up most in the postseason.
And that's why he's not getting paid.
I truly believe, I'm with you, I believe that they are out, and I'm going to say out, on Dak Prescott leading this team to be a contender, to win a Super Bowl. I don't think they believe he can do it. Now, I believe that they understand that they have pieces, and they feel like, okay, if Dak Prescott's going to be a top 10 middle tier quarterback,
8th to 14th in the league,
especially in the postseason, well, we can get a quarterback that can keep us afloat, and that we can drop that salary from Dak Prescott and then continue to keep all these other
We have so much. We had so much money, but then we paid Dak so much. Which is why we're in salary cap hell right now. We could at least get a quarterback, or at least draft somebody that could keep us afloat. At least keep us good till we find a better replacement for that nigga. You know what I'm saying? So it's really not that big of a deal. I guess you can make an argument for that. But to me, I don't see that big of a deal. You can kick Dak's ass, or you can trade him. I say trade him. But what the fuck do I know?
Some pieces that you mentioned that they're going to pay. So I don't think it is strange from a traditional standpoint and how the league typically orders the contracts. But for Dallas and the Dallas Cowboys, no, they're prioritizing what's most important, specifically on the offense side of the ball, and that's CeeDee Lamb.
All right, so with that in mind, what model is this? And I joked around about there's the Mahomes model, awesome quarterback, you don't need to pay everybody, even though Travis is paid, but he's actually probably not getting anywhere.
Tight ends don't get paid,
pass catchers, but tight ends are. Or you got the Purdy model, don't pay.
Hey guys, I'm not saying Dak isn't. Dak is good, he's good. But he's in good when you need him to be good. And that's the playoffs, okay? The whole reason why you're playing the regular season is to make it to the playoffs, to have a chance to even sniff the Lombardi trophy. Okay? That's what I want to say.
Pay the quarterback, pay everybody else. It seems like the Cowboys are trying to like split the difference, and if they do let go of Dak, find somebody in that.
If they let go of Dak, they're trying to follow the Purdy model. In the
they're gonna get somebody on a rookie deal.
Yeah, that's the only thing to do. I mean, right now they're kind of trying to do what I would say the Lions model is, which is have a quarterback that makes real money. The Lions, you know what I mean, but not the very top of the market. I know Goff just got a new deal, but when they traded for him, Goff wasn't on a rookie deal. He's on a real contract, but it wasn't exorbitant. Just like Dak's prior to this year hadn't been exorbitant. Dak's contract right now. The reason I am so confident the Cowboys aren't extending Dak before this season is because so much of their life would have been easier if they had already done it this offseason. So, like, I know the cap stuff with Dak.
Alright, I'm sorry guys, I had to search this up, but fuck what's it called? What we can do is put Trey Lance in the start position. Alright? Keep him there for a little while. Then get somebody that's better than him. Put him second. As the backup quarterback, second backup quarterback. Keep Cooper Rush, third string. He'll be second string. Whoever we draft, first start. For right now, I think we should get Dak the fuck out of here. Pay CeeDee, Micah Parsons, keep Trey Lance there for, I say, as good as he's in his prime, at least, or as his consistency, okay? And then what we do, we boot his ass out. We draft him, because the one thing about Jerry Old has shown is that he's really good at picking talent, okay? So we get a talented quarterback. Okay? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Let me know if you guys agree with me. That's all I'm saying.
Is complicated, but you just have to think about it like this. He signed a 4-year, $160 million deal. Okay.
The biggest mistake we've ever did. The biggest mistake. And that's why we're in this predicament right now. We overpaid him.
Okay? He is in the last year of it. They have only had, of that $160 million, 65 show up on their salary cap up to this point. So they were already borrowing from future years to have Dak's number cheap, which is why this year it's $55 million, and next year if he's not on the team, it's $40 million in dead money for him not to be there. That's why they weren't able to participate in free agency. I think it's one of the reasons why CeeDee's not done yet, all those things. So if they were going to give Dak a deal before he played another football game, doing it 3 months ago and being able to add other pieces would have made more sense. The fact that they haven't, to me, Greg, says they're not going to. That they're going to say, you know what? if you go out there and have a great postseason run and we end up having to pay 10% more than you're currently asking for, we'll pay that premium to avoid dealing with the fact that if we pay you now and you have another flame out in the postseason, we are tied to you for the next 3 or 4 years with no escape hatch.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this all pans out, and particularly for Dak Prescott, because he's a really good quarterback. I just don't believe that he's the quarterback that can get it done in Dallas with all that's weighing and looming over that franchise of them not having been to a conference championship in 25 plus years and all the things. The performance that he had.
Sad. It really is sad that we haven't done any of that shit yet. Probably because quarterbacks are the quarterbacks we choose in the draft or that we get aren't we great or good or just right. They aren't talented enough to make the Super Bowl, though. It's unfortunate. It's sad, but it's the truth. Tony Romo couldn't do it. Dak Prescott couldn't do it. The only one that could have did it was Troy Aikman. That was 1995 to 1996.
Against the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah.
At home, having not lost a regular season game all season long. I'm not just trying to put it solely on Dak Prescott, but when you look at the frustration that CeeDee Lamb showed on the first...
You should put... We have CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Cooks, we had Michael Gallup. Our defense was arguably the third best or a top 5 defense. You can always blame it on Dak. He hasn't shown up. Okay, he's not bad. He's not great. He's in between. And that we need a great quarterback. We need somebody that can get us over the hump. Dak is like this nigga never got us over the hump.
First possession.
So that can we stay on
All
that
of
for a
those
second?
things.
Do you now that we're this far? Just real quick before we move on.
I remember that story.
Now that we're this far removed from it, and the Cowboys are prioritizing CD, Dak doesn't have a deal yet, and that was a team that crushed at home.
Yes.
That rolled, and it's not like the game had gotten away from them. There was a Packers. The Packers-Falcons NFC title game. It was like 21-0 before Rodgers had thrown his 5th pass. Like, that game was just over. That wasn't the situation. Why do you think that was sideways immediately? And what could have happened in the interim, in the week between the end of the season and that moment that made it go that sideways? And how does that carry over if CD gets paid and Dak hasn't?
Well, I think there were questions revolving around whether or not this quarterback could get it done. Dak Prescott could get it done in the postseason. And so when the Green Bay Packers decided to go for it on the 4th down, on their first possession, they convert, and then they go down and they score a touchdown. You see the Dallas Cowboys sideline, and it's like, okay, we got to respond. Well, when they took the field, they did not look like a confident group from the onset. And I think when you have a player who's...
I never saw that confident group when we played the Packers. That was like a slaughterhouse. Everybody looked bamboozled on that field. I thought we were gonna make it to the NFC Championship. I had no expectation for the Super Bowl. I thought we were gonna make it to the NFC Championship. We couldn't even make it to the divisional round. Hell, we couldn't even surpass the Packers, who were struggling against the Giants. Now they have a great team. Not a great team, but they have a good team. Better than our team. Sean would say that. I would never say that after Aaron Rodgers left. When people saw Green Bay beat the shit out of Dallas Cowboys and almost beat the shit out of San Francisco 49ers, I think the Packers are a force record now. And I will be doing a tier list soon on my predictions on the 2024-2025 NFL season. Do I think we're going to be in the playoffs? I hope. I think last year was our best year to make it to the NFC Championship. We completely collapsed.
Emerging, who completely budded this year in CeeDee Lamb, and he doesn't get the attention, he doesn't get the targets, he doesn't get featured, and your quarterback is struggling.
Oh shit, CeeDee Lamb don't gotta worry about that. The motherfucker didn't get all the targets. He been getting all the targets. I think he was the best performing wide receiver. If that, he was probably top 3, top 2 best wide receiver this year. Tyreek Hill or Jay Jess could have been over him, or Justin Jefferson could have been over him. I mean,
after series 1, after series 2, there's going to be a lot brewing there to where you start to kind of point the finger, saying, dude, you've been doing this. This is the time we've expected you to be better, and you're not. And again,
exactly, that could have been last year, but he never did it. That was our year to go to the NFC Championship. I'm not going to explain myself because I just did like twice. It was your chance. Even if you do make the playoffs, we're not winning. Okay, we're getting booted out. First or second round. I most likely would say the wild card. I wouldn't be surprised. It's just sad. This was your year. You're not getting paid. Get your ass out of here.
I know it sounds like I'm pointing it at Dak Prescott, and maybe I am, because quarterbacks are going to garner all that attention whether you win or lose. But in this particular situation,
it is the quarterbacks once stole the ball. You threw the ball to the Packers. Packers are green, Cowboys are white. Do you mistake the colored jerseys or something? Are you a Packer secretly? Like what?
In the postseason with the Dallas Cowboys, it revolves around the quarterback play. And Dak Prescott has been that guy for the recent years and fallen short. So for me, it started with all that was the pressure that was looming over this group, them wanting to get over the hump, them believing that they had the team to do it this year, not getting out and to kind of punch the Green Bay Packers back in the mouth like they got punched in the mouth. It was a telltale sign that this is not the guy.
All right.
The team completely collapsed on that field. They completely folded. They looked bamboozled. They looked like a high school football team on the field or something.
I do not think it is in conflict or contradictory to have massive questions about the Cowboys' ability to win a championship while also being fully confident they're going to be in the tournament.
Okay.
This team dominates its division and dominates at home in the regular season. If you do those things, particularly in the NFC, which, while I think better than it was last year, is not the stronger of the two conferences, or the deeper of the two conferences, I should say, you're not going to miss the playoffs. We can show you both. The Cowboys the last 2 years in the division. The best team in the league, highest scoring team in the league, blow everybody out. And we can say, oh, it's tomato cans or whatever. That division didn't get better. I mean, it might have gotten better long term with Jaden Daniels coming there. But the Commanders all of a sudden aren't going to be great. The Giants are still the Giants. And the Eagles, last I saw, they were...
I mean, you can arguably make that fact, but I do think the Giants are going to get better. They're sort of getting better. They got Malik Neighbors. He was like the second or third best prospect in his wide receiver draft class. You've seen the LSU clips. I think you can make an argument of that. Giants made improvements to their defense. I'm no Giants fan, but I'm just saying what the facts are. I think their defense proved, their offense proved. Their best chance, the best they're going to do is the wild card. Okay, the best they're going to do. But they make it into the playoffs like a 6 or 7. Okay, they probably have the same record in 2022. It's probably going to be the same 2022. Okay? Not much. I'm just telling you that right now. Same thing with the Commanders. The best they're going to do is probably... Well, no. They probably have a year or two before they make the playoffs. You can also make that argument with the Giants, too. The Giants, I think, are going to make it before the Commanders. But the Eagles and the Cowboys are going to be competing for number 1. Just because the Eagles got Saquon Barkley don't mean shit. Because that nigga's injury prone as fuck. And that's why they didn't resign his ass. That and the Giants are too broke. And they're gonna pay up the money that he wanted. He got like $37 million. Philly, bye-bye. Nigga.
falling apart. So then what?
Yeah, like I said, Eagles, Cowboys going to be competing in that division for a great amount of time. Good, long-ass time. I'll tell you that right now.
About at home, the Cowboys at home. They are as good as any team in the league, the best actually, in the regular season. And so the NFC this year gets 9 home games, 8 road, because that flips year to year. So what are we talking? Like, they're 6-3. Let's say they have the worst home year they've had in years and go 6-3. You have road games against the Giants, Washington, and Carolina. You're just baked in at a minimum 9 wins before you win a hard.
The schedule is so depressing. I predict this going 10-7, 11-6, or 12-5. We're still making the playoffs, though. I do believe that. We're not going to be a high-scoring team. We're going to murk the Giants, though. We're going to murk the Commanders as usual. Philadelphia and Dallas would get winning each other. Browns going to kick their ass. We could be 12-5. Realistically, it's going to be 11-6 or 10-7.
Before you have to win one tough road game. So, no, I don't think there's any chance they miss the postseason wilds.
Greg, can I pitch you on a 9-8 season?
You don't even have to pitch me.
Lose at the Browns. Lose.
Wow, you guys really underrating us. That's fucking crazy, nigga. We're going 11-6 or 12-5 or 10-7. In fact, I'm hearing 9-8 is probably the worst we could do. And the Texans, I'm scared to play them. But even I think we're going to beat them. If we do beat them, though, very, very narrow. So, probably win by like a field goal or some shit. But I'm just being honest, though. This is my opinion.
At home against Lamar. Lose in Pittsburgh. Lose again against the Lions, even though you won the game. Lose.
We did win the game. We won. You did it. Won the game. We won the game, nigga. It was by what? Like a 3 points, 1 point, 2 point. I watched the game. I don't remember the fucking scoring, but we won the game. We didn't win the game. So we did, nigga. Fuck out of here.
At San Francisco again, and then you get the San Francisco hangover effect after getting beat up. You go to Atlanta, you lose that one. You lose to Joe Burrow in your.
We're not losing to Atlanta. We may lose against Burrow. We're not losing against Atlanta. I promise you that. Atlanta's going to be good, better than some people may expect them to be. They're not beating Dallas, though. They're not that good.
Building, and then you split with Philly, you lose.
Don't play something like that, nigga.
There. That's 9-8, and I'm giving you the win over CJ Stroud that I felt tepid about. So that's my pitch for 9-8.
Yeah, I think there is a chance they miss the postseason because we're basing and listening to even you, Nick. You're basing a lot of who they have been off of previous years. And moving forward, this is not a roster that has made a lot of moves. Not that they needed to. However, when you're looking at teams around you and you talk about the Washington Commanders, a team interdivision team.
Washington Commanders are shit. They have to make moves or else they're never going to win a Super Bowl.
That's a good take.
And you say, okay, they're not better. They're going to be more competitive. The Giants, I'll talk about the Giants. The Giants defensively are going to challenge the Cowboys even more this year than they did last year. Clearly, we know that. The Eagles, I believe that.
It's a 50-50 shot. I think they're going to have a better defense than they had last year, most definitely. Because they have that, the guy from Carolina, they call him Spider-Man, whatever the fuck, but something Burns, I forgot his name. He's one of the best in his class, of course. He's going to challenge us, but we still have Micah Parsons. We still got, our defense is still better. We have best offense. One of the best offense, I think, I still think we have the best offense in the NFC East, but the Eagles realistically probably have better one than Dallas, not going to lie. But still, I see Lamb. Brandon Cooks, Dak Prescott, we're fine. We still have a good line. We're fine.
That they have a lot of tension there, but they also have a lot of upside because of what we've seen them do. So they're going to compete. I don't think this is just the Dallas Cowboys last year where they're just going to cruise through their division, cruise through the NFC. The NFC North, in my opinion, has the better chance of 3 teams making it into the postseason
I agree with
than any
that.
other division. So there is a chance that the Dallas Cowboys miss out.
So here, listen, I want to. You made a good point, so I want to clarify a bit of what I was saying. I do think Washington will be better than it was last year when they had the number 2 pick of the draft. My point, so I shouldn't have said exactly that. My point is Washington's not all of a sudden, in my opinion, a good team. I think Washington is still a team that if you're a good team, you expect to beat even in Washington. The Giants' defense, with the addition of Brian Burns, absolutely should be better.
Yeah, that was his name. That's what I meant to say. Brian Burns. Spider-Man.
Fortunately for the offense, they might be starting Drew Lock. I don't know what they're doing. They might be starting Drew Lock, but regardless, I think the Giants are positioned to possibly be the worst team in the conference this year, depending on what happens with Bryce Young and Carolina. So go ahead.
Here's one caveat with the Washington Commanders. I'll hand it right back to you. You now have your head coach knows that team down in Dallas.
Oh, I do like that.
He knows the offense. He knows that quarterback. He knows that defense. He is going to have them. If nothing else, Washington, the Commanders will split with the Cowboys.
I like that.
That's why I feel like the Cowboys have a chance to miss out. I'm not saying that they are, but if for this topic, they're going to.
I was, for the record, when
That's sad reality, though. That's the sad truth he's saying. We have a chance. It's not a high chance, though. I still think we are very high to make it into a wild card, but to be completely honest, we have potential. We also have potential to miss out.
Greg said that, I was about to say to him, this is the same man that said the Broncos would split with the Chiefs. But then I remembered the Broncos actually did, unfortunately.
Come on now.
Split with
Come
the
on
Chiefs.
now.
So
First person ever get off the board, I believe.
he did get off
Exactly.
the board, but then he got back on the board. I think he picked the Browns.
He needed
More
some reason to
dangerous
put me
for
back on
the
the
Chiefs.
Fucking Broncos suck dick. Haven't been relevant since Peyton Manning.
The points you're making are fair points. I think sometimes because we talk so much about the Cowboys, we kind of miss the forest for the trees, even if they have real structural issues that will prevent them from getting to the conference title game for the first time in 25, 30 years, as you mentioned, or winning a Super Bowl, those things. This is still a team that has won 12 games 3 years in a row.
True.
To expect them all of a sudden to be a 500 team, essentially, which is what it's going to take to miss the playoffs, I don't think that's going to happen, particularly when the way the schedule fell, all your tough games are at home, and you're a great home team.
Corner Warren Sharp, strength of schedule, 22nd.
Thanks for watching.
Hey, that was a good ass episode, not gonna lie. That was a good ass shit, bro, but he's saying the truth. All he's saying is the truth. We have potential to miss. We have potential. Alright, we have potential to miss it, but I don't think so. I don't think we do. I hope not, at least, but without that, we're closing out.